Hello guys and welcome back. I thought I'd record this video to make sure that we fully understand the difference between points and vertices and why certain attributes fail when we promote them from vertex to points. And if we look at the geometry, we have 6 points and we have 2 primitives, but we have 8 vertices. And the reason for that is because if we look at the points, this point here belongs to the surface, and that same point also belongs to this surface. So if we select and move it, it's going to be 1 point. Okay, so how come we are able to get a UV coordinate for that point that works with the surface? Because if we look at the UVs, for example, we have that point here that uses this space, and then that same point is also used in this space. If we look at the UV texture, it's perfectly fine. There's no issue. Another thing as well, if we look at the normals, we will see 2 normals, one pointing this way and one pointing this way. And this is the correct, because what we need is we need 2 values for that point. We need to know the normal of it when it belongs to the surface and the normal of it when it belongs to the surface, and that's where vertex comes in. So this point, when it's being shared between 2 faces, is actually built of 2 vertices. Everything else is built of 1 vertex because it doesn't need multiple informations, and that's why we have 8 vertices, okay, instead of 6, because these 2 they need 2 vertices to describe their information. And that's how we get UV coordinate to work nicely, and that's how we get normals to look correct. Now if we create normals that is based off of the point attribute, so if I click post compute normals, you will see that it became weird, and the reason for that is because the points now is shared between 2 surfaces, so it doesn't know which one it belongs to, so it creates this weird angle. But what we need is a vertex attribute that describes the normal of that point for this surface and for this surface. Now a way to fix this is if we cusp the polygons, which means cut the polygons into 2 separate pieces. One has its own point, each one has its own points, and if I click now, you'll see I have 8 points, and that problem is gone, and I have them pointing this way and pointing this way. That's this is wrong. Obviously we don't want this. We don't want to change the geometry. So to get the proper normal, we need to use a normal node, and that way it's going to be fine. So if we plug this in and mess up the normals and then reset it again using vertex attribute, it's gonna look correct. Okay, so that's how the UV coordinates should be, because each point is many points are shared between 2 surfaces. So when we do the lookup using the point VOPs, it's going to operate on point levels, and point will never give us the correct attribute data for UVs, normals, and maybe other things, which for now the only one I know is UV and points, unless you have something custom that you need. So if we run point VOPs, it's never going to solve the UV issue or any any attribute that needs to be the vertex level. So the trick is to run the point VOP at the vertices level, and that will make sure that it fires off that intersect node. So when we use it in vertex mode, it's going to run for each vertices. Each time it's going to use its own normal. So if I use a ray intersection node and I get the location of that vertex, and then I shoot 1 time along this way and 1 time along this way, I query the UV attribute, then it's gonna look correct. So I wanted to record this to make sure that you guys are aware vertices are not points. Vertex cannot exist without a point, but a point can exist without a vertex. And to store the correct data on a point that is shared between 2 faces, we use 2 vertices. they belong to that same point, but each assigned to a different phase, so that it gives the render or Houdini the information it needs when it's required. Thank you guys, and good luck with this week. See you soon. Bye bye.